Okay, let's start with a question for you listening. When you face a significant challenge in life, I mean, a truly tough one, what's your very first thought?
Hmm.
Do you immediately see it as like an immovable roadblock, something that just stops you dead in your tracks?
Or do you instinctively view it more as a stepping stone? A hurdle that once you clear it will actually push you forward.
Exactly. That initial perception, that gut reaction, it's so much more significant than most people
It
realize.
really is. It profoundly shapes not just your eventual success, but also, your happiness and fulfillment along the way.
Absolutely. And that fundamental truth is right at the heart of our book talk today.
Welcome, everyone, to Success Happiness. We're excited to dive into this.
Yeah, welcome. Today we're looking at the incredible work of Dr. Carol Dweck. She's a world-leading psychologist from Stanford University.
Her book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. It's really revolutionized how we understand human potential, hasn't it?
Totally. It offers this amazing framework for understanding what drives our achievements, what holds us back, and maybe most importantly, how we can unlock our true capabilities. So think of this as a book talk focused on that unlocking potential.
And what's so fascinating is how Dr. Dweck even got started on this.
Yeah.
Her journey began while she was a young researcher, kind of obsessed with understanding how people cope with failure.
Right.
And she started by observing children tackling difficult puzzles.
Huh.
What she saw was, well, it was unexpected, and it really sparked her whole groundbreaking work.
Okay, so what was it? What was that specific observation that really grabbed her? What did she see in those kids that, set some on one path and others on a completely different one?
Well, she described watching these kids, right? Some
Yeah.
would just pull up their chairs, almost buzzing with enthusiasm, saying things like, I love a challenge.
Wow.
Yeah. The tougher the puzzle, the more engaged they actually became.
Yeah.
But then she saw the others, faced with the exact same demanding puzzles. These children got frustrated really quickly. They often just gave up. Some even started questioning how smart they were.
Oof. That's
That stark difference, that reaction to difficulty, that became the seed for her entire theory of mindsets.
That's such a powerful contrast. And this observation, it really pushed back against a pretty long-held belief, didn't it? This whole historical debate about whether intelligence was fixed, like something you either had or you didn't.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just a debate anymore. Modern science, from neuroscientists to respected figures like Robert Sternberg in intelligence research, they basically confirm intelligence isn't fixed at all.
It's developed.
Exactly. Developed through what Sternberg calls purposeful engagement. It's like
Yeah.
our genes and our environment are in this constant conversation. Even genes need input from the environment to really, express themselves fully. It's a dynamic system.
So it's not just about what you're born with, it's about what you do with it, how you engage. And this leads to such a profound idea that Dr. Dweck emphasizes,
Which is?
that a person's true potential is unknown and unknowable. We cannot possibly foresee what someone can accomplish with years of passion and hard work and training. You just can't put a ceiling on it.
Exactly. That idea that potential is unknown, it means we can't judge a book by its cover, right?
Right.
Or a genius by their early years. Think about people like Charles Darwin or Leo Tolstoy.
Right. Weren't they considered pretty ordinary as
Literally
kids?
ordinary. Or Ben Hogan, one of the golf greats. Apparently, he was really uncoordinated at first. Cindy Sherman, the iconic photographer, she actually failed her first photography course.
No way.
Yep. And the amazing actress Geraldine Page was told flat out she lacked talent and should give up. These aren't just like weird exceptions. They're powerful reminders that greatness is often forged through relentless development, not just handed out based on some preordained talent.
That's a really compelling argument against that whole myth of the natural. Okay, so let's dig into this core distinction then. That difference she saw in the kids with the puzzles. That's the heart of what she calls the two mindsets, fixed and growth.
Right. And these aren't just, superficial personality things. They're deep beliefs about our basic abilities, and they really do shape almost everything in our lives.
So let's unpack them. The fixed mindset first. What's the core belief there?
The fixed mindset, yeah. At its heart, it's the belief that your fundamental qualities, like your intelligence, your personality,
Yeah.
they're basically static. They're carved in stone.
Okay.
And that belief, well, it inevitably leads to this exhausting need to constantly prove yourself,
Okay.
to defend that fixed idea you have of who you are.
That sounds like a lot of pressure. How does that belief that everything's set actually play out day to day? Does it make every challenge feel kind of threatening?
Totally. If everything's fixed, then every test, every evaluation, every single interaction becomes a measure of your basic worth. Failure, in this view, it isn't just a setback. It's like It's a devastating verdict on your specialness or lack thereof.
Oh.
Remember Loretta from the book? She was 5 years old. After one single test, she decided she wasn't a true eagle for her elite kindergarten class.
5. Wow.
Yeah, and she carried that belief, twisting information later on to make her successes look bigger and explain away any failures, even though she was excelling with that same group for years.
That sounds like a recipe for constant anxiety. What are some of the sort of practical consequences you see from this mindset?
Well, you often see things like blaming others or making endless excuses. John McEnroe, the tennis star, he's a really vivid example in the book.
Oh, yeah.
He'd find any excuse for losing matches. The sawdust court side was supposedly rat poison, or he had a fever, a backache, he was too heavy, too thin, too cold, too hot.
Anything but him.
Anything but him. It was never his fault. And this mindset also pushes this ideal of effortless perfection. Like, trying hard feels like admitting you don't actually have the talent. If you're really gifted, it should just happen. No sweat.
Right. That idea of effortless perfection is so common, especially in some fields. But, okay, contrasting that, we have the growth mindset.
Yes.
Here, the core belief is totally different, isn't it?
Fundamentally different. The growth mindset says your most basic abilities can be developed through dedication, through hard work. It's not about being magically talented from day one. It's about the joy of becoming, of continually evolving.
And the impact of that belief must be huge.
Oh, it's transformative. People with a growth mindset, they actually embrace challenges. They see them as opportunities for learning, for expansion. Failure isn't some final judgment. It's just crucial feedback.
So effort isn't embarrassing, it's essential.
Exactly. Effort isn't a sign you're lacking something. It's the path to growth.
Mm-hmm.
So they're open to accurate feedback. They stay interested even when things get tough. And they genuinely believe in continuous self-improvement.
And the stories that illustrate this are they're so inspiring. Like Jim Marshall, right? The NFL player who ran a touchdown for the wrong team.
On national television, talk about humiliating.
Right, a potentially career-ending moment. But he learned from it. It didn't define him as a failure. It was an experience he actually grew from.
Exactly. Or think about Christopher Reeve after his paralyzing accident. Medical science basically said, this is it. Come to terms with it.
Yeah.
But Reeve, holding onto this growth mindset, started this incredibly rigorous exercise program. He believed his brain could learn to move his body again. Doctors warned him, you're in denial.
But he kept going.
He kept going. And 5 years later, against the odds, he started regaining movement. It's incredible.
These aren't just stories about overcoming hardship, are they?
No, not at all. They're profound illustrations of the power of effort, the power to change your ability, your circumstances, and, ultimately to change who you are as a person. It's about believing in potential beyond what you can see right now.
Okay, so we have these two distinct mindsets. How do they actually play out across different parts of our lives? Let's maybe start with education. How does it show up there?
Yeah, education is a big one. Dr. Dweck's research followed junior high students over 2 really crucial years, the ones with a fixed mindset. Their grades actually tended to decline during that challenging transition.
Why was that?
Well, they often blamed their abilities, like, I'm just not good at math, or sometimes even their teachers. Their self-worth got tangled up with their performance. They started avoiding situations where they might look less capable.
Okay, but here's the kicker, right? The students with the growth mindset.
Their grades increased over those same 2 years. And what's wild is that their past records were basically identical before junior high.
So the difference only showed up when things got harder.
Precisely. When the challenge intensified, they stayed interested, stayed motivated, even when the work was really difficult. They saw the struggle as just part of learning.
That makes so much sense.
And programs like Brainology, which actually teach students that their brain grows new connections when they learn, like a muscle getting stronger.
Yeah.
Those programs have shown significant academic improvement. It literally teaches them their intelligence isn't fixed, it's something they can develop.
That's incredible. And it's not just the classroom, right? Mindset hugely shapes sports performance, too.
Oh, definitely. The book gives this great contrast between 2 baseball players, Billy Beane and Lenny Dykstra.
Right. Bean was the natural, loads of talent.
Immense talent.
Sure.
But he couldn't handle failure. He actually described feeling like he should never make an out. That's intense pressure.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you had Lenny Dykstra, didn't have nearly the same raw physical talent, but Beane watched him, just amazed. Dykstra, Beane said, had no concept of failure.
Wow. Just didn't process it the same way.
Exactly. And that observation made Beane realize that mindset was actually more critical than raw talent, which, later informed his whole Moneyball approach as a general manager.
Building a team based on process and mindset over just perceived talent.
Right. He proved it could work, leading the Oakland A's to, 103 wins with one of the lowest payrolls. It showed that process and mindset really can triumph.
And it's not just those contrasting stories, even the legends, right? People like Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Babe Ruth, we often think of them as just naturals.
But they weren't just naturals. Ali, believe it or not, was initially considered not a natural by boxing standards. He used his brain, his strategy to outwit stronger opponents.
Huh.
Jordan constantly worked on his weaknesses,
Mhm.
even after becoming a global superstar. And Babe Ruth, despite his larger-than-life image, was disciplined about practice. He transformed himself from an inconsistent hitter into a legend through work.
So that character we talk about in sports, like digging deep when things are tough, like the Boston Red Sox finally winning after 85 years.
That's learned. It's cultivated. It's not something you're just born with. It's all about how you respond to setbacks and your commitment to getting better.
Which applies directly to business and leadership too, I imagine.
Absolutely. You often see this talent mindset in companies, right? This obsession with finding the next visionary, the natural leader.
Yeah.
But Jim Collins, in his famous book, Good to Great, found something different. The leaders who took companies to sustained greatness, they were often pretty self-effacing. They constantly asked questions, faced the brutal facts about failures.
But kept the faith.
Exactly. Kept that unwavering faith they'd succeed in the end. It's a growth mindset approach.
And that's different from some famous fixed mindset leaders.
Yeah, think of someone like Lee Iacocca, who often seemed focused on proving his own greatness, his public image, or Albert Dunlap, Chainsaw Al, who seemed to define his worth just by shareholder value. These leaders often surround themselves with yes men, ignore warnings. Dr. Dweck calls it CEO disease. Compare that to growth-minded leaders, like Jack Welch at GE. He learned humility from a big chemical explosion early in his career. It shaped him into more of a guide, focused on developing people, not just judging them. Or Lou Gerstner, turning around IBM's culture of smugness by embracing growth, even when people criticized him early on.
It really shifts the focus from proving to improving.
That's a great way to put it.
And this even extends right into our closest personal relationships, doesn't it? How we see our partners, ourselves.
Definitely. A fixed mindset in relationships often expects this instant, perfect, and perpetual compatibility.
The fairy tale.
Yeah, exactly. The idea that if it's meant to be, everything should just click and stay clicked automatically.
Which isn't really how life works.
Not at all.
Mm.
Think about Charlene and Max from the book. They started with amazing compatibility, but then Max's moodiness became an issue. Charlene wanted to talk. Max wanted to be left alone. Classic fixed mindset trap. It leads to thinking, well, if we have to work at this, it must not be right.
But relationship experts say the opposite, right?
Every single one, from Aaron Beck to John Gottman, they all say needing to work on a relationship isn't a bad sign. It's a sign of health and growth. Daniel Weil famously said, choosing a partner means choosing a set of problems you're willing to work through together.
That's a powerful and maybe refreshingly realistic thought.
It really is, because the growth mindset understands that all aspects of a relationship can be developed. You can grow, your partner can grow, the relationship itself can grow.
So it thrives on communication, on effort.
Yes, and on confronting problems directly, not sweeping them under the rug. These couples learn to be on the same team, supporting each other's development, growing together. They see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to deepen their connection.
Okay, this is all incredibly insightful, but the big question for anyone listening is probably, can I change my mindset if I recognize some fixed tendencies in myself?
And the answer, the really good news here, is yes, absolutely. Mindsets are not permanent. You can change them.
That's huge.
It is. And honestly, just becoming aware of the two mindsets, just knowing they exist, that's the crucial first step. People tell Dr. Dweck all the time. Once they learn about it, they start catching themselves, hearing that fixed mindset voice.
I think we all have those moments, right? That internal voice that judges or is afraid or feels like it needs to prove something. So the book offers some practical steps.
It does. 4 key steps to actively cultivate a growth mindset. First, hear your fixed mindset voice. Just become aware of those thoughts. I'm not good at this. What if I fail? This should be easier.
Okay, notice it. Step 2.
Recognize you have a choice. Realize you don't have to believe that voice or react the way it wants you to. You can choose a different interpretation, a different response.
Right. So step 3 is where the action comes in.
Exactly. Talk back with your growth mindset voice. Actively reframe those negative thoughts. Instead of, I can't do this, try, This is challenging, but what can I learn? Or what strategy can I try? Turn the judgment into a question about process.
Okay, hear it, know you have a choice, talk back. What's the fourth step?
Take your persona on the journey. This is kind of a cool one. Imagine your fixed mindset tendencies almost like a character. Dr. Dweck mentions a student who named his Dumping Dan.
Ha ha. Okay.
By giving it a name, you can sort of externalize it. You can then consciously educate Dan, guide him, show him the growth mindset way. It's about building strategies, building self-control, and treating those old habits like something you can actively train and change over time.
And what seems really critical here is moving beyond just praising talent, right? Especially with kids, but maybe with ourselves too.
Oh, definitely. True growth comes from focusing on effort and strategies, not just telling someone or yourself, you're so smart or you're so
I guess,
talented.
like the gymnast example, Elizabeth.
Exactly. Elizabeth the gymnast. She didn't win a ribbon. She was devastated. Her dad didn't say, oh, you were robbed or you're the best anyway. He said, honestly, you haven't really earned it yet. If this is something you really want, then it's something you'll really have to work for.
That sounds tough, but effective.
It was. That honest, growth-oriented feedback motivated her to work much harder, focus on her process, and she ultimately improved dramatically. It respects the child's potential for growth through effort.
So the power of action is really key.
It's paramount. A growth mindset isn't just wishful thinking. It encourages learning, seeking out constructive feedback, developing actual strategies, like my friend Nathan wanting to lose weight.
Yeah.
His first plan, just eat less, didn't work. Instead of beating himself up, fixed mindset, he treated it like data. Okay, that didn't work. What will work? Growth mindset. He then developed a better system, putting smaller portions on his plate, removing extra food from sight. He built a plan, stuck to it, adjusted. That's growth in action.
Taking concrete steps, even when it's hard. Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway? What does embracing this mean for you listening right now?
Well, I think ultimately opening yourself up to a growth mindset makes you more you. It makes you more alive, more courageous, more open to a richer, fuller life experience.
It's about choosing that path of continuous development.
Exactly. Where your potential isn't some fixed ceiling you might bump up against, but this ever-expanding horizon. Every experience, good or bad, becomes an opportunity to learn and grow.
It's really a powerful invitation, isn't it? To stop trying so hard to prove yourself.
And start focusing on improving yourself. To fully embrace that journey of becoming, knowing that your greatest achievements might still be ahead, just waiting for your dedicated effort and willingness to learn.
That's a fantastic note to end on. If you found today's book talk on mindset inspiring and empowering, be sure to subscribe to the Success Happiness channel.
Yeah, we'll have more discussions and talks just like this, all aimed at helping you unlock your full potential and really thrive in every aspect of your life. Thanks for tuning in.